everybody. My name is Dimitris Kouras. I come from the region of Western Macedonia, Greece. I'm not an expert also about biomass and bioenergy. I would like to present here about action that we currently run in the region, quite important for us and for the exploitation of biomass resources. Starting with the status of threats of renewable resources and bioenergy, in particular for the region. Then we examine the profiling potential in West Macedonia, and we will examine also the power action of CADU, which is taking place currently in the region. Of course, in parallel, you will also see what is the energy mix of the region. And here we can see what are the main energy players in the region. First of all, we have the Power Plant Corporation, who runs 5 different energy plants with use of lignite firing. It's not, most of them are old plants established in 1950. Of course, the largest partner producer in Greece, and according to statistics, the second largest in EU level. Now, it's state level, but since with the changes right now, Greece probably will be privatized. It's privatized about 50%, but now also another 50% will be provided to the private sector. So also the management will be in the private sector. And the store capacity is 10,076,000 megawatts. The district of solid fuels is located also in the region. It's the only institute working with biomass resources in Greece, and it's located in the region. And of course supports the public power operation in efficiency of lignite firing operations. Just to give some details about one of the power plants where the pilot action is taking place. Is a candidate power plant quite near Kozani. Probably the partners of our area will have the opportunity to visit this power plant when you come in Greece. It's also quite old unit. With relatively low efficiency due to the old technology that they use. So corresponds, produce around 30% of electricity in the whole country, corresponds to 22% of the total verified CO2 emissions of the entire sector, which is quite a big issue for the region. That's why we're trying right now to see how we can proceed with profiling in order to reduce the CO2 emissions and, of course, to lower down the environmental value. And we have also some previous experiences of profiling with oil kernel and, of course, small quantities of aluminium. The status of threats. Very generally, as just mentioned, the Greek energy sector is dominated by lignite. More than 50% right now is produced by this raw material. And the basic mining areas are located in the region of Western Macedonia. But despite of these quite big production levels in lignite, we have also big dependencies of fuel inputs from the surrounding countries. As I've told you, so the emissions are quite high, but the impact of the market price expected to be greater after 2013, where we're going to pay the cost of the fees for producing CO2 emissions. This is the latest law for the promotion of renewable resources in Greece. It runs since June 2010, around a year now, and gives some good incentives for renewable energy sources, in particular biomass resources. You can see here the biomass plants below or equal to 1 megawatt established power the electricity is sold to the level of 200 euros per megawatt. Okay, there are other rules, of course, but they provide good incentives. That's something that was not the case in previous years. That's why we didn't have any particular interest for this kind of applications. Go on. This is an overview of the basic biomass power plants in Greece. As you can see, mainly has to do with exploitation of natural gas or biogas coming from sewage sludge treatment. In particular, quite big installations in Athens, Thessaloniki, and in big cities. Of course, there are also smaller units storing biomass from mainland and also from forestry biomass mainly, but with much smaller capacities. Right now, in the region, we are planning to establish a quite big biomass power plant. It's going to run exclusively with biomass, but we didn't still solve the issue of supplying with raw material, and probably we are thinking to import raw materials from the surrounding countries, something that it seems quite difficult in terms of sustainability. Yes, there is important issues here.
But if I comment this, to import, let's say, wood pellets from South America or
no, yes,
but that is okay. If you look at the transport and so on.
Yes,
so that is it's not totally stupid if I say so.
No, really.
But it's much better to import from these countries that are really starving if you don't provide enough yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And wood pellets is so easy to transport, and of course you have to buy at least 50,000 tons at one moment. But that is
yes, okay, you're talking about a need of at least 100,000.
yeah.
Yes, they are thinking seriously, and they examine this issue. Probably they will proceed with that. But of course, we haven't still examined quite enough the possibilities of biomass production in Estonia, due to the fact of the lignite production right now. So here you can see what are the national renewable energy action plan for 2010 is already done, 2014 and 2020. But as you can see, we give particular emphasis to the energy production from wind and photovoltaics. Wind because of the quite big dynamic in the GNC, in the north of the country, and of course we have much more sun and Sweden. So let's go first about this particular project of Kopari. As we have seen already, the region is responsible for the biggest energy production in the country. Has this 4,400 megawatt installed capacity, but of course these power plants, as I explained before, quite old power plants. These power plants, of course, they're working more than 9,000 employees in the production and in the ignite and the mining activity. And of course, this is the biggest activity, the biggest part of the activity in the region, so it offers 55% of the regional GDP. And we should also think many companies that supply with maintenance and different kind of materials to the power plant operation there. Of course, we are also an agricultural region. We use many different kind of products because of the characteristics of the region and the availability of water resources. But still, the energy sector is dominant. So, because of the emission trading scheme of 2013, the prices of lignite and the cost of energy production will be much higher. So, the power plant corporation thinks alternative ways to reduce this emission trading scheme. And here you can see some different parameters for such a power plant, and how would the biomass resources could lower down the energy mix of the power production. These are what estimations, the agricultural residues estimated around 43 megawatts in regional level for electricity, but right now I can say just few of these energy, this biomass availability is used. So, and the many reasons is the lack of mechanization, as you have seen in Trento, or you can take some good ideas from them. You don't have good supply chains, and of course, we're talking about agricultural residues. There are also other kind of uses. We estimate that the break-even biomass price will be 51 euros per ton without feed tariff, 157 euros per ton for with the tariff. So here we have the main installed capacity of the power plants in the region and the million of tons of consumption and the emissions. As we see, the levels are quite high, but I would like to go to the power production based on carbon. So recently, the prefecture program initiated a program for cultivation of carbon, the Sinara carducidus. It's hard to spell it. And the program was realized through Regional Development Fund in the years 2009 and 2010. The cultivation cost after that is 1,000 euros per hectare for the first and second year. And we had the participation of 60 farmers with total basal level reached at 400 acres. So we gave this prize as we have explained before. But at least for the first year we had some problems. We didn't cut the yield per hectare as we supposed to cut, so we were quite lower in production levels. But we hope that for the second year these levels of production will be about 10 tons per hectare. So, okay, you can see what are the yield production per different energy plant. Okay, the question arises if the cultivation of family crops is make profit for the farmer and gives quite good incentives to cultivate. You can see the different pictures of plantation growing and the final stage when we harvesting it. We suppose that it's quite good for our soils and the climate conditions in the area. And we suppose we are waiting to see for the second year what was going to be the production, the yield. So we have made demonstration of profiling last October. The profiling was about 9% of thermal share. Okay, there was a joint partnership who made the investigation, demonstration of this action, of this profiling. And of course, they made some very specific measurements to see if the whole action is sustainable and good for they can catch the results that they expected. So the power plant area, the plantation was surrounding the power plant area in order not to have a cost of transferring the harvesting plant. So you can see we have the plantation in a distance of 30 diameter of 30 kilometers around. And you can see here the different phases of actually harvesting of cardamom. And here the mixing processes with lignite. About 50 tons per day delivered at the plant gate. Sortation made by trucks, and as I have told you, the distance was quite near, 25 to 30 kilometers. This is the cardamom delivered. There is some headlights of the project in the national press. And okay, so a few words about the major conclusions. According to the phase results, we decided to run the pilot action also for this year. So there will be demonstration again in this autumn. Probably we can arrange to meet at the time, so to be there at the demonstration process. So there are discussions for expanding the cultivation to 5,000 hectares. And of course there are parallel investigation of agricultural resources availability in mostly regional levels, but also the possibility to transfer biomass resources from other regions. At the beginning we mentioned that the energy sector was not provided the important incentives. That's why it was not, didn't get regular development so far. But right now with the new law and of course the targets for 2030 about the part of renewable resources in the energy mix and the efficiency of energy, it's required to think again how we can use the biomass resources in regional level. So we suppose that in 2015 the co-firing and ignited power plants will be quite competitive if the energy production cost will be increased. Of course it's quite preferable because we don't need new installations, we have the power plant there, so there is no any particular need for extra investments. Of course it is hard economic conditions. And of course it's a cost-effective way of passing regional development. Okay, and of course, as you can see here, the timing is it's a very good one for the ecology, especially in the forest biomass, and we can examine what are the possibilities for us to take advantage of the experience. So that's all. Few conclusions. These are some basic conclusions that we have done in relation with other means of biomass that will be used. As in order to reach the target set at regional level and to have the transition from the green economy to bioenergy economy, and of course in the long term after after a specific period of time that need the transition to take place. So that's what Roy. If you have any questions about this project, please ask.